Okay, grants and awards. I want to say about Shell why? Because £1,000, they give out £6,000 a year. And when you're doing this, any bit of money helps. We had a grant scheme that just finished about a month ago, £3,500. It was amazingly how many scalable businesses we got basically kind of bidding for that. You wouldn't think £3,500 wouldn't help, but we're doing it for 4 or 5 years. One of our businesses now turning over something like, £58 million, employs something like 300 businesses. £3,500 at the pre-seed stage is very useful. And even £1,000, it's a simple paste and weight scheme. Okay, J for B, if you're looking for grants, fundamentally about the government grants is unless you're in agriculture and fisheries, and occasionally in media, you're doing a kind of film, but particularly multicultural film, multi-language film, there's no grants. The Maastricht treatment basically bans governments giving grants to businesses. You can get a grant to do something you wouldn't otherwise do. That's a fundamental thing. It's to do something that has wider social benefit. And the business is just a mechanism, whether it's a third sector, government or business, to do that, with some exceptions. And one of those exceptions is probably the major place, if you're looking for R&D funding at the moment, is the Technology Strategy Board. The Technology Strategy Board basically has about 8 to 9 different sector-specific kind of groups, of which it runs a number of competitions, considerable amounts of money. The ones that are being launched in March are, I think, around about £30 million. We've had a number of our businesses that come through use this. You can get the money if you're a startup. You can get the money if you're... It's there to basically do for what's called research-intensive businesses to carry out research, basically pre-commercial to proof of concept stage. The money can be little as 25, 50k. It could be up to £1 million. We've been quite successful on the smaller scale, you won't be surprised. This is basically, the money's normally up to 75% of the cost. It's very useful, and it's also great in the sense, if you are looking to proof of concept, to get that technical assistance and technical support. Eurostar Eureka U funding is EU version of this, where you have to have a partner in one member country. Again, it's for companies that are what's called research intensive. That is a company that has about 10% of its income is basically, 10% of its expenditure is spent on R&D. And I suspect everyone in this room probably could say that's the case. If you have got a very long process to do your R&D, do look at TSB funds, do look at Eureka. Government backs initiatives, well, bank initiatives. I quite like the franchise funding, one that you launched recently at NatWest. I thought that was a very good one, actually. Lots of money. And anyone's doing retail now, it's very hard to say that you shouldn't do franchising. The franchise option tends to be kind of much more favourable, not just from finance from the banks, but particularly from landlords. You try and get a prime property if you're not a franchise. Good luck. Kind of big society bank. I put the FT link on that because I still don't know what that's going to mean. And hopefully it will come clear very soon. But I also say the government is announcing lots of things at the moment, and it will be all leading up to the 23rd of March, where basically you have the budget. The budget is called the growth budget, and there will be a number of initiatives that will be emerging. Keep your eye on it. And what would I Google? I would Google the Green Investment Bank. That should be announced very soon. I would Google the regional growth funds. London has been excluded, but I don't think it will be in the next round. I would Google credit union funding. They just pumped a lot of money into that. Enterprise zones. I don't know if you've read today, but East London is looking to get an enterprise zone on the Olympic site. Capital for Enterprise. This is all the regional funds have been brought into Capital for Enterprise, and now they're going to be issued out again. These are all the equity funds that were in all the regions across the country. Growth and innovation funds. It goes on and on. And I'm afraid, basically, this is really bad timing, because in 3 weeks' time, we should know a whole picture, and I would be able to get up here and say, there's this, this, and this, and this. But at the moment, I'm afraid I can't. OK, equity finance. You should have hit Nesta, especially if you've done anything around TSB, because Nesta love, basically, technology. They love basic things that are kind of leading edge. London Seed Capital, run by one of my members called GLE. Basically, that's for smaller amounts of money, about £100,000 up. And the Creative Capital Fund, both of those are hoping to have some more capital soon. I'm not quite sure whether they're fully open. I asked around all our members which early stage VCs got monies looking for basically proposals, and there was quite a lot of things, but the consensus was probably the best place to start now is Octopus Ventures, who have been crying out for good kind of proposals to come in. And I don't know if anyone here wants to verify that, but that was the one that came. London Technology Fund, I'm going to pass over that because I have my own views on that. Yes, some people have been there as well. Okay, Paste and Wait Investments. One of my guys basically got £16,000 from a website called Kickstarter on what's called, in America, called a paste and wait. You paste up your proposal, and people, within a short period of time, decide whether they're going to invest in it. And they got £16,000, very little strings attached. At the stage of pre-seed, that's quite useful. There is a thing, it's US only. You have to have a US bank account. But they got that within 10 days, so I mean, kind of good luck for them. Kind of practical help. If you are going to go, particularly for bank finance or asset-based finance, and you want someone to basically help you reduce those transaction costs, i.e. help you produce that business plan, help to introduce you to the right bank, because you're basically busy trying to get your technology into the marketplace, etc. Look at the Gateway to Finance. It's a great scheme where you get a consultant to basically develop and write that business plan, to get your accounts into order, to basically make you basically ready for, to be kind of lent for or invested for. Gateway to Investment, kind of Gabby's here somewhere from kind of Grant Thornton. Many of you went through it all this morning. That's the basically scheme for if you're looking for equity finance. A couple of other things I want to kind of just touch on. UCL Advances, one of my major members, and actually I'm based there as well. Basically, they have a number of programs to get guys like you to come in there with ideas for them to basically give you teams of consultants from them and from London Business School, up to about 65 hours to basically solve a problem. It's been pretty good at doing basically proof of concept, technology testing, doing core market research, etc., etc. It's called Hello. It's no strings attached. You just have to be a registered company in London and basically go for it to qualify. We also basically, through there are other schemes such as mentoring schemes, access to students, etc., etc. If you're looking for labour, if you're looking for some expertise, you're looking for some people to do the grunt work in your project, or you're looking to kind of use and access those wonderful resources and expertise that they have in universities, then a project like Hello is fantastic. E-Innovate is another scheme on there. And if you are looking to kind of think, I'm interested in the TSB, where would I start? Well, you could email me at Capital Enterprise, or you could go to the GLE Enterprise Europe Network. And basically that will help. And
John,
yes.
wrong link on the Hello.
Okay, wrong link, Hello. There's kind of basically the Essie there from Hello, from UCL. She waves if you're interested to...
UK/Hello with one L.
Okay, well, there you are. I got that one wrong.
Or come and talk to me on.
Anyone want to heckle? Okay, I want to finally kind of say what we're doing at Capital Enterprise. On the 7th of April, we're launching with RBS, actually, kind of so NatWest again, it's all small worlds. Basically, a scheme which we're going to be running 20 boot camps, basically with universities. We've got London College of Fashion are doing it for the fashion sector. And the idea of these is to get you to be able to have the insider knowledge, to speak to the actual entrepreneurs, the buyers, and to basically start up collaborative relationships with both the major corporations and with basically the HEIs. It's all through a theme called open innovation. It's the idea of can we basically help you overcome some of the barriers, some of the kind of the problems of taking a business from idea to start by through collaboration as much as anything. We have a Bio-Pioneer one, which is going to be done with GSK and the London Bioscience Innovation Centre. UCL is doing one with, on basic iOS, if anyone's doing apps, etc., with some of the leading players in that market, including obviously the leading one, which I can't announce yet, but I should be able to in a couple of weeks. We have basically in the green, sustainable sector, there'll be 20 altogether. 7th of April, Boris is launching it. Basically, the first one we're doing actually is restaurants. So kind of on there. And I wanted to find out when you're seeking finance, you all know this, you've probably heard it all before. The quality and the connections of the management team are so important. and as many connections as you can get. And I represent universities and incubators. We have connections. Don't kind of keep us out. We may be able to help. The scale of business opportunity, you've heard that. The scope for building sustainable competitive, you've heard that. The timeliness of the proposal, you've heard that. These are all determining attractiveness for your business to investors, lenders and funders. And the ability of you to basically negotiate well and execute your plan convincingly will determine how much you get. So I had 10 minutes. I've rushed through it. You may have questions. I'm out the panel afterwards. Thank you ever so much.